When it comes to arcade racers, I see not all people were talking about Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged. And why is this? Well, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged really puts the arcade racing and vehicular destruction to the next level. And I believe that Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged really deserved a chance to shine, and instead of falling under the radar. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I love Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged. Let's begin. The presentation gameplay of Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is just 90% as the same as the previous game, except it's a lot much more bigger, and it's much great and good. First off, Milestone listened to the fans of the Hot Wheels and also delivered fan service to what the fans wanted. Well, not all of them. Due to agreements between Milestone and Mattel, almost not all of the fan service had came through. This being track pieces being changed in previous color schemes seen from previous Hot Wheels games, and wheel swaps, where despite you are able to still change the color of your wheels, but it's still not enough. I still believe that Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is still much great. In the first game, we are required to race in indoor environments, this being a college campus, basement, and more. In Unleashed 2, however, Milestone fixed this opportunity. They decided to make brand new environments, scene, and you'll be able to race in the outdoor environments, like the backyard of the suburban home, as well as other sorts, like the gas station. Not to mention that they also listened to fan service about the character vehicles being added in Unleashed 1. As Mattel have flexed their brand deals, not all people were satisfied with the character cars. So, in response to this, Mattel went all out with brand deals. So, for starters, we still had our basic character roster in terms of size, launching at the same 155 car list according to Ultraviolet. But the content has changed dramatically. All of the character cars were no longer usable anymore. Now replaced with plenty of older retro Hot Wheels that everybody loved to use in previous Hot Wheels games. Super Tsunami, Jet Threat 3.0, 16 Angels, Twin Mill 3, Solar CX4, MST Suzuka, Split and Image 2, Bulligo, Way Too Fast, Showstopper, and the Mid-Edge Maelstrom, just to name a few. Alongside that, we got new DLCs, and no battle passes are available as well. This really gave an opportunity to see what new model or old car would come. And to our extent surprise, we actually got more retro Hot Wheels. Muscle Tone, 24/7 power pistons, hell, even Jackhammer and the Hot Wheels SK2 Battle Spec, to name a few. All cars, even the accelerators from the early 2000s and from classic Hot Wheels games like Stunt Track Driver, Turbo Racing, Hot Wheels Burning Rubber, Hot Wheels Velocity X, and Beat That, and Hot Wheels Track Attack, were a much welcoming addition to the second game. Along with that were new licensed vehicles as well, to keep the fans of licensed vehicles more interested too, like the Dodge Charger Hellcat, the 2016 Bugatti Chiron, Nissan Z, and Volkswagen Golf GTI, along with plenty of neat newer models to keep modern collectors interested in collecting new cars as well, like Cosmic Coupe, Tooligan, Count Muscula, and Cyber Speedster. Interestingly enough, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 brought us ATVs and bikes to make the gameplay much more chaotic. Again, this is an arcade style racing game. So it's not highly realistic, it's just focusing more on fun, speed, and chaos. Speaking of fun, speed, and chaos, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 introduced us some traditional new gameplay mechanics, this being jumps, double jumps, and lateral dash. These movements will be able to have you go through secret shortcuts that you might be able to see and might be able to maneuver for, evading obstacles like rolling boulder abilities alongside with barriers, or knock your rivals off the track. This turned the game, the arcade racer, into more of a physical vehicular combat game, like how it is in Burnout, or Wreckfest, or Hot Wheels Bash Arena by extent. While it's not focusing on vehicular combat, it's still a nice welcoming addition, considering the fact that this would completely follow the same trajectory as of NASCAR Unleashed's core gameplay. While that too doesn't focus on vehicular combat, they focus on fun, speed, and chaos, and both NASCAR Unleashed and Hot Wheels Unleashed both have something in common. That one thing, that they're both arcade racers, and they focuses on car destruction. And that's what it's all about. Prior to Unleashed 2's debut, they got us new expansion packs with cars in it. The first expansion pack, that's right, the Accelodrome environment, bringing us retro Acceleracers Hot Wheels originals to the lineup. This being Chicane, Spinebuster, you name it. And what's next? We got the Italian Village, as part of the Made in Italy expansion pack. This Made in Italy expansion pack features one of the leaked Hot Wheels vehicles that has the motor scooter alongside with more licensed cars. And I actually like the Italian Village, and I also like the dangerous motor scooter, the 1966 Vespa SS90 Super Sprint. It's not only dangerous, but as you are in the hands of this motor scooter, you're able to fly across the Hot Wheels track pieces, but you gotta be careful because remember, bikes feel a little too wonky in the game as they drift the same as normal Hot Wheels cars, which is very odd, and and also your bike will accidentally bump into obstacles and hazards where the hitboxes are, causing them to spin or wipe out or fly away completely. You really shouldn't be running into them. What's next? We get to the Fast and Furious expansion pack, featuring Dom's Garage. Now, it would have been much better. Now, some people said it would have been much better. It would have been a little more, it would have been a best expansion if it was set in another location or something. But it's still nice nonetheless. And you got more licensed vehicles from the Fast and Furious movie. Although although there were some confusions between the cars, which will be talked about later on. But but nonetheless, I like Dom's garage and his house, and I liked how his Dodge Charger muscle car is parked right there, and it has that engine sound. I like it. And lastly, we got the Alien Encounters expansion pack, featuring rocket themed space themed vehicles. But in reality, we only have one space themed vehicle, and that would be Speed Slayer. The rest of the cars, we have Highway Hauler 2, Swamp Buggy, and Test Subject. Nice. Well, for Highway Hauler 2, it's of course highly welcomed. I actually like the model. I actually like the model of the 2014 Hot Wheels Road Tripping, and it will be more. And that model is literally 10 years old, anyways. So it's already 10 years old. So it's been marked 10 years since the Hot Wheels Road Tripping UFO parking model was introduced. That's pretty great. However, it would have been much better if we had, something that did not go to a Hot Wheels game before, and that would be Radar Ranger. Someone said it was a real missed opportunity, and yeah, it really is a missed opportunity. But then again, there were some issues behind the scenes regarding to livery testing changes. Meaning if any Hot Wheels car has issues with livery editing and such during the making production of Unleashed 2, then that means it will not make the cut. It will not make it. And also for Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, on the other hand, the game is all about showing off newer models, while they still continue to bring in retro Hot Wheels to keep classic Hot Wheels fans interested into playing the game. That's what Hot Wheels games are all about, bringing in new models while showing off the classics. In the last game, Hot Wheels Unleashed 1, there was some problems stemming from cars and such. And this being no car classes. Dragon Shark showed us a guide on which car is in which class, in the letters. While I like the idea of it, but there's also I like the idea of it, but it can be rather confusing though. Also in the last game, the game had some serious aggressively rubber banding, something you might see from from Mario Kart or other games that has aggressive rubber banding in this. It's very glad that Milestone took this criticism and toned down the AI rubber banding. Now matching up to the type of car and upgrades that is now seen. What was Milestone even thinking putting up this type of aggressive rubber banding? Seriously, having Hot Wheels Combat sorta racer having aggressive rubber banding in this. What were they thinking? It's very glad they dumbed the rubber banding down though. And what do we have next? Oh yeah, the car classes in Unleashed 2. 6 classes in total: Drifter, Balance, Rocket, Heavy Duty, Off-Road, and Swift. Nice classes. Although the cars being in certain classes may be confusing. Let's start off with the drifter cars, which are your muscle cars, meant for drifting around corners. The mid-engine Maelstrom is in it. Hot wired. Yep, it's a drift car. And we also have Rocket Fire. Really? What happened? Seriously, what the heck? What the heck? Moving on to Balanced, which is your basic like tuner cars for which are your all-around aspects. X. Power Pro is in it alongside with Seared Tuner. But what else? We have a drag car being in there. Alongside with the Koenigsegg Jesko and Power Rocket. What? That's not right. Power Rocket and Rocket Fire were meant to be in the Rocket class since they had the Rocket names in it. So both cars make sense if they're in the Rocket class. But what happened? What else? Exotic is in the Balanced class. What on earth? What were they doing? Alongside with the W Lankin more hyper sports from the Fast and Furious this movie, which really turned down a lot of fans. Though I don't know why it's not a rocket and not a. I don't know why it's not a rocket. It's not supposed to be a balanced car because it's a sports car and it could go very fast. Asked, what? Seriously, what gives? Seriously, what the heck gives? Moving on, the next one we have is Rocket. Cars that are built for straight high speed. If Power Rocket, Rocket Fire, Exotic, or the Lankin Hypersports car ain't in this class, what is? Is the Jackhammer one of the Mercedes-Benz cars? Or is the Highway 35? One of the Highway 35 cars like Slingshot and Vulture are in this Rocket class, but also not one but two Formula One cars. One of the Formula cars is a retro callback seen from Hot Wheels Track Attack, F1 Racer. Seriously, enjoying those are the GT3 cars from the Fast X from the Speed DLC pack, and also a Nissan Y-Body S15, alongside with an Audi R8 and an El Camino. Oh, no, not the common one in the drifter class, the Super Treasure Hunt El Camino. Honestly, what on earth? Seriously, what on earth? Seriously, what was going? What's the haps? For heavy duty and off road, both of them make perfect sense because, well, the trucks and vans fall under the heavy duty class. They may be slow, but they're tough, and they ram cars off the track very well. Oh, like heavyweight characters like Bowser smacks around smaller characters. You know, Bowser in Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart 64. You know what? Forget it. And for off-road, they can handle on all terrain. Impossible. On carpets, on grass and gravel dirt. I can go off-road. Sandstinger can go off road alongside with Baja Jump Truck and more. Yes, Baja Jump Truck. That's another retro callback from World's Best Driver 2013. Seriously, some of the good bikes or cars in that game always were good, but they were on a game that really failed hard. And next up, lastly, we have Swift. The street cars and bikes can handle and can tackle tight corners with no problems, or tight curves for no problem. According to Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, the Swift class features the Fiat 500, a Mini Cooper, a drag bike. Which one? Canyon Carver or Street Naz? I have no clue. A Cadillac secret car, which is used by players alongside Bump Around, the bumper car of a Hot Wheels original, and Snoopy. Seriously, this is completely funny. This is so funny. The car classes, depending on which car you choose, they need to be usable in one of the racetracks in Unleashed 2. And depending on which car you choose, their performance might affect on them. So you have to tackle them on off-road terrains and more. Or you need to tame and handle some of the Hot Wheels cars that cannot handle off-road. And they can try and slip out if you're not careful. That's about it. While I like the car classes, though, it could have been much better if Power Rocket, Rocket Fire, or Exotic be in the Rocket class as three cars alongside of the Koenigsegg are supposed to be rocket cars and sports cars. But we're occupied by a few sports cars that were seen from the Speed and Style DLC pack. Yep. This is pretty funny and very, very confusing. New addition to Unleashed 2 is the sticker editor, where you are able to make any type of a logo you want. Honestly, I remember I used to play Need for Speed Nitro a lot, making my own logos and putting them on the Need for Speed Nitro cars. But now, since Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 is here, I'll be able to make whatever sticker I want. I can make the SEPTA logo. I can make the SEPTA Metro line letters. I can make anything I want, and make any type of livery sticker I want as well. And seriously, this was missing from the first game. We needed a sticker editor. The sticker maker is literally genius. It's literally genius. You could use it for any bike or car or ATV or truck or van, you name it. I made numerous liveries on SEPTA and more, and yet some people love them, while some people are not familiar with them. I'm a fan of SEPTA, and I liked all the SEPTA trolleys, and I was sponsoring SEPTA because SEPTA was my main reason. Because SEPTA is the main reason why I've been loving in the transit system from the start of the beginning. Since my first ever trolley ride when I was younger. Oh, seriously. Childhood memories aside, the sticker editor was a fantastic addition. Greatly executed. The movement abilities, once again, greatly made. It's truly impressive. The downside is that they are fueled by your boost supply, Remember full auto 2 battle lines? Well, to avoid people not abusing the unwreck feature, both the boost and the unwreck mechanic use the same meter supply. This It's no surprise on how this type of mechanic gimmick would come back, but this time onto one of the onto Mattel's little diecast cars is a sequel to the Unleashed 1 game. As lateral dashing is fueled by your boost supply, all you have to do is to drift and always go through the boost receiver icons to always keep it charged. With You'll be doing jumps where you'll be able to jump over your opponents or find shortcuts. Double jumps will get you out of trouble. And lateral dash, where you are able to evade obstacles or knock your rivals off the track. Yep, that means you'll be able to play dirty with them. So you'll be able to make them crash into other track pieces, make them fall on the floor as a crash takedown, and will knock them out. Honestly, I find this completely familiar, as this kind of reminded me of the SSX series. You see, the SSX series has characters to knock down and shove opponents out of the way while you're snowboarding and racing to get to the finish line. And this the knockdown mechanic was executed very well. Very, very well. And seriously, what SSX's knockdown system did, it was a huge, great one. And that would be SSX 2000, to name a few. This type of a knockdown styling would be brought on to Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged. So while it's not focused on vehicular combat, though it does bring back my nostalgic fun times I had with the SSX series. For one, SSX characters will have the ability to knock down opponents, set to create a fierce competition. And Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 replicated this type of a system, but instead put it onto the Hot Wheels cars. Nice idea, although there were mixed opinions surrounding it. Everybody preferred using power-ups or just boosting, to name a few. But honestly, I don't know what the big deal. Also, depending on how it goes, the criticisms may be up next. Despite Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 getting favorable reviews from both fans and critics, it ended up selling poorly due to a lack of marketing, which Milestone dropped the ball on. Releasing around the same time as the Crew Motorfest and other racing games at the time, the game fell under the radar. Plus, there were also some major criticisms surrounding the game. First, Milestone had listened to fans, but unfortunately did not completely fully listen to some of the fan service that Milestone wanted to add, like color schemes into track pieces featuring the Hot Wheels logo and such. Also adding complex play sets from that's probably might be in the idea to make Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 a little more fun and in conjunction with it, alongside with wheel swaps, along with other things that would make the Hot Wheels fans happy. Milestone did listen to it, but the problem is that depending on what Mattel goes, Milestone has to follow the rules. So I wouldn't say this is Milestone didn't listen to fan service, Milestone did listen to them, but unfortunately, they had to consult Mattel first. Yeah, the toy manufacturer. Yeah, the goal the the goal for Hot Wheels Unleashed is to promote the actual Hot Wheels diecast toys. Another thing, the toy manufacturer has limited Milestone from creativity. Why? 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 Well, it's because they want Milestone to stick to the current styling of from the first game. This is this is because they want to promote the actual diecast toys. Well, it's great on the surface in the first game, but honestly, this is not going to help in the second game. Why? Well, they were missed opportunities. Like, for example, if anybody wants Mario Kart style power ups to be in the second game, and Mouser would have take this plan and carried it out. But the problem mainly comes down to Mattel first. Mattel doesn't want Milestone to do whatever they want. But, seriously, 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 the Unleashed games were meant to promote the actual toys. Alongside that, I'm sure we all remember the fingerprints, gouges, and scratches on all the cars. They were meant to be seen that they've been taken out of our collection and then brought out to the race. Another problem is the online system, which is completely um well well it they were all the general reception about the online services were really mixed. It was such a shame that everyone could have got something better than what they had. Also, the Hot Wheels Unleashed games had died when Mattel wanted Milestone to do the DLCs rather than doing updates on the game and such. That is certainly not a very great idea. Seriously, having to kill a game too early is not a good one. When Hot Wheels Unleashed 1 and 2 were both introduced, both of them were dead on arrival. No surprise. Honestly, I can't even imagine what was Mattel even doing. Seriously, on the top of this is Mattel literally ditched Milestone for another publisher, or just because of, we don't know, for fucking all reason. It it this really crippled the future for the future Hot Wheels games, and as it seems, Mattel has never learned from their previous mistakes at all. Actually, at this point, overall, while Milestone did listen to fan service, Mattel failed to Mattel literally failed to like have them look at the fans of the Hot Wheels as requests, and instead wanting Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 to have the same concept as the first game. Not a good idea at the beginning. While I like the new addition of game modes like elimination, drift challenges, and waypoints, they were great. Great, far from it. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, everybody likes the game. Another problem is that a lot of people are now seeing that the Hot Wheels cars now have a lot of cartoon shine to them. No shit, Sherlock, because they're all made in Unreal Engine 4. So what? They're all supposed to have a shine to them. This all has something to do with the glossy paint work and such, and also with the great ray tracing effects from AMD Fidelity X, which boosts the on-screen resolution. Not to mention how this ray tracing effect really bounces off the reflection of your truck or your car. It's completely executed well, and it's very realistic indeed. And it's such a shame because not only it added some much needed depth into the game, but also is very clean and very well. The especially at the gas station and the arcade environment, they have neon lights and such, and they also have great reflections that completely bounces off your car. The orange track pieces and other Hot Wheels cars have reflections on them as well. Well, some of them, depending on what paint scheme color you are using. Depending on what paint scheme you're using, either it's metal, cheap plastic, or more. Also, the cars on Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 felt a little more plastic. Well, the cars are supposed to be plastic. What do you expect? Some other people did also complain about how we have some how the game was downgraded, was dumbed down. Well, you go honestly, you gotta blame either the toy manufacturer or one of the producers for not bringing in much more depth into development. And while it does have 90% of the assets seen from the first game, it was not produced by Federico Cardini like the first game. No. The producer of Unleashed 2 Turbocharged was Domenico Salenza. Domenico Salenza at Milestone SRI. How you could literally see it. You could literally see he was mentioned by on the Wikipedia page. Since I get it. Downgraded games are not the best, but you can honestly have to go and blame somebody for it. But like what Gamer Alex says, since Milestone is a small company, since Milestone is a company that has a few people working at the company, it comes down to the budget things and issues. How many employees does Milestone have? 280 as from 2022. Who knew? Yeah. Who knew? Now, a lot of people are saying that they had to make a new Hot Wheels game in 2024 or 2025. Well, guess what? They're not making a new Hot Wheels game because they're already focusing on their next new games. This being MotoGP 2025, Monster Energy Supercross 2025, and in 2026, they're currently in development on Screamer. I do know that they already worked on one of the games, being Monster Jam Showdown, which failed and received mixed or average reviews. And also on the Milestone About page, they're still working. They still work with Mattel alongside with other companies. Yes, Mattel's still being seen as they're still working with them as partners. But even if Milestone and Mattel comes back together again, they need to start. Mattel really needs to start listening to fans as well. Remember, Milestone had listened to fan service, but the problem comes down to Mattel though. What Mattel has to contract Milestone to do, they had to do it. So honestly, I would not. So honestly, I would personally be blaming Mattel for this problem on why Unleashed 2 is not a step up from the first game. But what easier way is that Mattel needs to listen to fans as well, not just Milestone, but Mattel. Besides, Mattel owns the Hot Wheels toy line. They have to listen to the fans as well. In conclusion, while Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is not a step up from the first game, it's still a good game nonetheless. Especially we have new cars, tracks, and environments, as well as having some old retro callbacks from Velocity X, Beat That, and Hot Wheels Track Attack and World's Best Driver, alongside with, well, you know, Hot Wheels Ultimate Racing, Hot Wheels Turbo Racing and such. I still like Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. I would still recommend a lot of people to like get the game if they have enough money for it. Although, and also if Mattel and Milestone come back together to make a new Hot Wheels game, Milestone would still continue to listen to fan service, but for the love of God, we have to consult to Mattel as well because honestly, what Mattel is doing to Milestone to limit creativity is just not working. And for Mattel, the next time you come back to Milestone, you have to listen to us fans about what we want. And give Milestone the freedom to do whatever they want. And for the love of God, please do not make Milestone continue to use the same style as the first game for aim of Hot Wheels Unleashed for fuck's sake. Thank you guys all very much for watching. Have a nice day.